Once you have the program loaded to your machine, you're going to have an icon on your desktop that you click on. When you click on it, you're going to get this screen right here. And you'll notice that there are a variety of different types of puzzles, learning tools that you can use inside this program. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on Crossword Puzzles. When I click on Crossword Puzzles, it actually brings up a puzzle maker for me. I'm going to title this puzzle Test Puzzle. I'm going to click on my magic grid. I could actually create the grid here by typing in words myself, but I'm going to let it do that for me. So I'm going to create a grid layout. You decide what size of grid you want. You can go up or down as far as number of squares. I'm going to leave this at 20 for this one because it's just going to be a short puzzle, and we'll go back to my accounting theme that I use. So I'm going to say asset, liability, and capital. And I could go ahead and just keep listing words. You do need to list each word on a separate line, and then I click on Make My Grid, and it makes my grid for me. Once I have my grid made, I'm ready to go in and put in definitions into my puzzle. So once I have my words done, I'm going to go back in now and add my clues. So I'm going to click on Add Clues. When it does, it brings my words up that I put in. I'm going to click on the word, and you'll notice that the cursor comes down into the box. So I'm going to say something the business owes. Click on OK, and you'll notice that as it does, it populates my word and clues box. I'm going to click on Assets and click on something the business owns. Click on OK. And then I have my down words, capital, the investment into the business, and I click OK. Once I'm done, I've got all my words defined. I click on OK. Once I have that done, I'm ready to export to create a Hot Potatoes version 6 web page. So I'm going to click on this link. It's going to say, what do you want it to save this as? So I'm going to say test, and then I'm going to click on save. Then it's going to come up and say, do you want to view this in a browser, or what exactly do you want to do next? So I'm going to go ahead and close this, because you will now notice, let me bring this over to my other screen, you will now notice that I have an icon that says test. So I'm going to go back into my Moodle site. I'm going to bring my Moodle site up. I'm going to minimize this just a little bit so I can have both, so you can see my drag and drop when I get to that point. Make my screen a little bit bigger. I'm going to go down where I want to add this. I'm going to click on Add an Activity or Resource, and I'm going to add a Hot Potato Quiz. Click Add. My window comes up just like the other, so I'm going to say Get from the source file, so it will name it the same that you named it in the Hot Potato Quiz file. I'm going to drag my Hot Potato Quiz over into my drop-down or my drop-in box. You could add some information as far as entry page, exit page. I usually don't do that. You can change the word. I usually just leave it on best. Access control, there's some choices that you have on there. Usually these I leave however I want it. If I want to grade it, I'm going to say first attempt, because I'm not going to give them more than one attempt. Common module settings, you can actually give them more than one attempt. You can give them however many attempts you want, and then you can say how it is that you want it graded. But mine is just going to be first attempt. Activity completion is still here, so I can say show activity as completed as soon as they have a grade. Once I have that done, I save and return to my course. So I come down to where I uploaded it. You'll now notice I have my test puzzle. It has a little hot potato symbol on the front of it. If I click that puzzle, or if your students click the puzzle, it's actually going to bring the crossword puzzle up that I made inside of that. Once I bring this up, I click, it gives me the definition. The investment into the business would be capital. I click on 2, something the business own would be, or owes, would be liabilities. And it's not going over to the next button. And something the business own is an asset. And I click enter. It checks it. I'm okay, so I click OK. And your student is ready to go on to the next step. Now that grade will show up inside the grade book so that you will know how your students placed on it.